Good morning to all. This is session 2 of module 4 of Elements of Mechanical Engineering for the second semester. And in this module, we will cover polymers and other related materials like ceramics, smart materials, piezoelectric materials, and other things. Coming to the polymers, polymers forms a very important class of material without which life seems very difficult. They are all around us in everyday use in the form of rubber, plastic, resin, adhesives and adhesive tapes and whatnot. The word polymer is derived from Greek. The poly means many and mers means parts or units of high molecular mass. Here in the case of polymers, each molecule of which consists large number of smaller structural units joined together to form a regular in the regular manner. So each molecule is consists of many number of small structural elements. So the polymers are generally organic components based on the carbon and hydrogen. The major constituents of any polymer is carbon and hydrogen. They are very large in molecular structures. Usually they are low density and not stable at high temperatures. So these polymers can be classified into thermosets and thermoplastics. The thermoplastics can be melted repeatedly, so that means thermoplastics can be reused, whereas thermosets once shaped cannot be melted or remelted. So some of the differences between the thermoset polymers and thermoplastic polymers are here. Coming to the thermoset polymers, they become permanently hard when heated and do not soften upon subsequent heating. They soften when heated and harden when cooled. Polymerization process proceeds in all directions, whereas here it is only in the linear direction. Hard, strong, brittle, and whereas the thermoplastics are soft and ductile, suitable at both high and low temperature, suitable only at low temperature. So these consists of primary bonds, whereas the thermoplastics consist of secondary bonds. And applications of these are electric moldings, motor housings, telephones, helmets, etc. And the thermoplastics are applications are toys, bearings, cans, ice trays and TV cabins, etc. So coming to the other type of material, that is ceramic. Ceramics are generally compounds between metallic and non-metallic elements. So ceramic is not a metal, it is a compound, point to be noted, made by mixing or combining two different elements. One is metallic and the other one is non-metallic element. Typically they are insulating and resistance to high temperature. Ceramics are generally made by taking mixture of clays, earthen elements powder, that is metal powders, and water, and shaping them into desired forms. Once the ceramic has been shaped, it is fired at a high temperature oven known as kiln, not kiln. Often ceramics are covered in a decorative waterproof paint-like substances known as glaze. and a small um, deviation in the ceramic, that is amorphous ceramic or glasses. A ceramic material which is inorganic, product of fusion, that has cooled to a rigid condition without recrystallization. Generally, what happens when the metal liquefies, when the metal becomes solid from the liquid state, so atoms undergoes crystallization and the metal will become solid. This is what happens in the case of engineering metals. But in contrast, in the case of glass, it solidifies without crystallization as a non-crystalline or amorphous structure. The molecules in the glass changes their orientation in the random manner throughout the solid material. So you can observe that this is a arrangement of atoms in the crystalline, and this is an arrangement of no, it's not an arrangement. So it is the pattern of atoms in the amorphous material. Coming to the glass optical fibers. Glass optical fibers are constructed by tiny strands of glass that are bundled together inside an application specific sheathing like stainless steel for ductility and high temperature. So here the glass optical fibers are formed by some sort of small threads joined together or twisted together and held in are covered by any form of sheetings. Usually it is stainless steel. So they are attached to a certain photoelectric sensors and guides the light from sensing it to the target. So the function of this is it will receive the light from receiving end and sends to the target. The glass optical fibers have impressive temperature range as low as minus 40 degrees centigrade to plus 480 degrees centigrade. This is possible because the cable has no electrical components. They merely act as a channels, light guide between the target and the sensors. And coming to the other type of material, that is smart materials. Smart materials are the materials that can significantly alter one or more of their inherent property owing to the application of external stimuli in a controlled fashion. So here, why this is called a smart material. For example, if you take any conventional engineering metal, if you apply load, they deform. If you put on temperature, they will melt. But here, the metals will give different type of reaction. What he says that there some of the inner properties will change with respect to the applied external forces. So they are called as smart materials. So the several external stimuli to which smart materials are sensitive are stress, temperature, moisture, pH value, electric fields and magnetic fields. So once again we have got some different types of smart materials. The type of smart material, what is the input and what is the output. Piezoelectric material input is deformation or stress, and its response of the material is a potential difference, that is what do you call the voltage. Electrostrictive input is potential difference and output is deformation. Magnetostrictive, the magnetic field and deformation. Thermoelectric, so input is temperature and output is potential difference. Shape memory alloys, temperature and deformation. Photochromic, Input is radiation and output is color change. Thermochromics, input is temperature and the output is once again color change. So this is how the smart materials will work. So this is a pictorial representation of whatever we have discussed in the previous slide. So for the optical fiber, input can be a temperature, pressure, and mechanical strain, and output is change in optoelectronic signals. And coming to the piezoelectric material, if you apply stress, output is electric charge, and if you apply electric field, and then output is mechanical strain. So this is how the smart materials will work. And coming to the some of the application of the smart materials, it is used to make sensors in the aircraft, and it gives a alarm signal for the repairs or inspections of various critical parts. Smart materials are also used in the civil engineering designs for bridges, dams, highways, and buildings. Here also to give the alarm for the what do you call the critical conditions. And this is also used in navy pairs to control the corrosion, and this is also used in manufacturing of composites sheet materials containing sensors that will alert maintenance engineers to the needs of repairs. Other important industries that are include smart materials. They are working in a uh, project to develop is smart car seats, and this car seats identify the primary occupant and adapt to their preferences for height, legroom, back support, and so forth. So this is also used to give indication about tire air pressures and oil change and other maintenance aspects. Coming to the other type of material in the smart material, under smart material is shape memory alloy. Shape memory alloys are the metals which can undergo solid to solid phase transformation and can recover completely when heated to a specific temperature. So generally, here the solid to solid phase transformation occurs. Let us say from A solid phase to B, and when the metal is having a B phase and it is exposed to a particular temperature, B will get back to A. So these materials have two phases. One is austenite, high temperature phase, and the other one is martensite, low temperature phase. And now we will see how this shape memory will exactly work. Look at this classical example. So in this example, we will take a smart shape memory alloy wire a round steel jig and passes a current through it. So these are the jigs, and this is the shape memory alloy, and we will press the wire like this, and we will supply current from the battery, and we will register the shape. Once this is over, change the shape of the shape memory alloy. So change the shape of this and place it in a hot water and leave it for some time. So when the wire gains the specific temperature, what happens? See, whatever the shape that we have given through the steel jigs will going to get back. So here, whatever the shape is given at a specific temperature will be retained by the material without any further deformation, just by putting it a appropriate or specific temperature. So this is what the beauty of a shape memory alloys. And various shape memory alloys are copper, aluminum, nickel, iron, manganese and silicon, copper, zinc and aluminum, nickel and titanium. These are the most commonly used alloys for shape memory. And major applications of this material is in aircraft, in orthopedic surgery, dental brushes, and in robotics. So other material in this class is piezoelectric material. Piezoelectric materials are metals that have ability to generate internal electric charges from the applied mechanical stresses. So what we will apply? We will apply mechanical stresses or deformation, and what is the output? Output is the internal electric charge. The term piezo is a Greek word, and the meaning of it is push. Once again, as I said, it's a smart material. Material that exhibits piezoelectric effect also demonstrate reverse piezoelectric effect. In the reverse piezoelectric effect, internal generation of mechanical strain in response to the applied electric field. That means piezoelectric material is vice versa. If you apply strain, then EMF is generated. If you apply EMF, then the material is undergoes deformation. Applications, general application of piezoelectric material are there in the manufacturing industry, medical devices, telecommunications, automotive and information technology, that is IT. Coming to the very specific application of piezoelectric materials, so this is used in electric cigarette lighters, and then gas grill or stove or gas burners, piezoelectric transformers, piezoelectric sensors, and this is also used as a major component in the ultrasound transducers. So and coming to the other important material in this class is composites. So coming to the composites, in the present rapid developing industry era, there is a need for the material with the specific requirement and properties, and it is impossible for any material to fulfill all the required properties. So that research and development of new materials began and resulted in the composite materials. So here the composite material is the produced by taking materials from the two extreme ends of the engineering materials. So one is let us say one is the metal like structure, and the other one is refractive or ceramic material. So when you combine these two materials, they are not at all similar in any aspects, either chemical, physical, whatever it is. So they are entirely different. When you combine these two materials, and it results in a composite material, and this composite material will have superior properties compared to its constituent materials. So the composite material is also called as tailored material. Why? Because depending upon the requirement, we will change the properties to suit the applications. So coming to the composite materials, composite can be defined in many ways. For example, for simple understanding, we can define it as a material which consists of two or more materials with significantly different properties in a microscopic level. So base metal is called as matrix. That is the major portion of the composite material. And the constituent which is mixed to matrix is called the reinforcement. The second material, which is smaller in proportion, and it is mixed with the matrix. In some composites, along with these matrix, reinforcement fillers are also used in addition. So those are called as hybrid composites. So for a simplicity, let us take a common composites. In the common composites or general composites, we have got two materials. One is matrix and the reinforcement. Matrix covers the major portion of the material. Let us say 80 to 90%, and reinforcement is somewhere between 10 to 20%. 10 to 20%. So coming to the classification of the composite material, the composite materials can be classified based on two things. One is the type of reinforcement used and the type of matrix material used. Coming to the base classification based on the fiber, we have a particulate fiber and a laminate. These are the three types of fibers used in the composites. And coming to the classification based on the matrix material, we have got metals, that is metal matrix composites, ceramics, that is ceramics matrix composites, and then polymer, that is polymer matrix composites. So like this, composites can be classified based on the fiber and then matrix. Coming to the fiber reinforced composites, fiber composites consist of a matrix reinforced by large or short fibers. Long fibers are generally continuous and short fibers are discontinuous. Look at this composite material. One is the reinforced by short fiber and the other one is reinforced by long fibers. Well, in the case of long fibers, definitely we have got a set of arrangement. That means we have got a pattern for the arrangement of the reinforcement, whereas in the case of short fibers, it's randomly arranged, and you don't find, or it is not possible to find any pattern of arrangements of reinforcement in the material. So when we manufacture a fiber reinforcement composite, things to be taken care or dimension, position, quality, properties, and bonding of the fibers and matrix. So apart from dimension, position, and quality, the bonding quality of the fiber and matrix is very important, as the strength of the material depends purely on the bonding between the fiber and reinforcement. Fibers are generally anisotropic. These fibers may be unidirectional, cross, or random. So fibers are generally anisotropic, means the properties of the material are different in different direction. So the strength of the material is more along the direction of the fiber, and strength of the material is less in the direction perpendicular to the direction of the fibers. Generally, long fibers are used due to their loading carrying capacity is very low at the ends compared to the other portions. Example for the matrix material includes epoxy, resin, metals like copper, aluminum, and steel, and ceramics like calcium aluminosilicate. Examples for the fiber reinforcement composites includes glass fibers reinforced in epoxy, carbon fibers in polyester, and banana fibers in polymers. Coming to the MMCs, metal matrix composites. As the name specifies, metal matrix composites, commonly called as MMCs, used in this composites metal they will use as a matrix material. Matrix materials such as aluminum, magnesium, titanium, iron, tungsten, nickel are commonly used, and even aluminum. MMCs are better at higher temperature than the polymer matrix composites. They are mainly reinforced with the metals and metal oxides to enhance the thermal and mechanical properties to meet the needs of the application and design. And by adding silicon carbide fillers, properties like strength and then elastic stiffness, thermal and electrical conductivity can be enhanced. MMCs generally consist of bulky materials like steel and aluminum to increase their properties. Some of the advantages are high specific strength, modulus by adding low density metal oxides like alumina and titanium dioxide, and graphite is used as a reinforcement material to lower coefficient of thermal expansion. The application of MMCs are in space, vehicle and military and in transportation. So once again, the MMCs can also be classified like this based on the shape of the reinforcement. So particle reinforcement, where the size of the reinforcement is in the form of particles or powder, and short fibers where the size is bigger, and then continuous fiber or sheet reinforced metal matrix composites. So if this is the continuous and this is the sheet laminated metal matrix composites. So this is how the MMCs can be classified. So with this we have covered session 2 of the module 4 EME, and thank you very much.